In yoga, so often we focus on the flexibility, but it's the strength plus flexibility, or strength in flexibility, that is really important. For this practice, we'll be working on the strength in shoulder actions, especially for those of us that are working on handstands or forearm balances, or just getting stronger in your dolphin pose. If you've got it, grab a TheraBand. If you don't have it, no worries. You'll still be able to do the proper action. We'll begin in a Sphinx position. With your forearms pressing down, align your shoulder right over your elbow, spread your fingers, lift your palms up so that the thumbs reach toward the mat, baby fingers might be slightly lifted, and as you do, see about lifting your elbows up and take your hands nice and wide apart. Draw your hands toward each other. Take your forearms down. Now come to that Sphinx pose again. Draw your heart forward. Take the heads of your arm bones back. Keep on reaching as if you're trying to slide the elbows back to move the heart forward. Now come to your knees. In hands and knees position, take your elbows down to the mat, turn your palms, lift your hands up, reach your hands away from each other. Just notice the difference here as you engage your teres minor and infraspinatus nicely for an external rotation. Take your hands down. Step your knees back just slightly. Now, rather than allowing your belly to hang like a hammock, engage more from the navel back to the spine. Lift your hands up. Reach your hands slightly away from each other. Keep that engagement of the core muscles. Draw your hands down to the mat again. One way to work this more fully is to use a TheraBand. I rarely use this in my yoga practice because I find the strap works best for most poses. But with a TheraBand, you can get a little bit more feedback in the action that we were just doing. With your forearms down, with the palms facing up, engage the core by drawing from the pubic bone to the navel, navel back to the spine. Keep that. Lift your hands up. Pull the strap apart. Just reach the strap to the side and come back together. Let's do that a few more times. Pull the strap while engaging the core muscles. Release. And one more time. Pull the strap apart and release. Chances are you felt that engagement nicely. Let's try that in a lunge position. A similar move to engage that external rotation. So step your right foot forward to come to a lunge. Drop down in the pose. Take your elbows in toward your ribs with your palms facing up. Reach your hands to your side as you just allow the pelvis to drop down. Release now. You could also do that with the TheraBand. Come to a lunge with your left foot forward. In this low lunge, drop into the pose. Draw your elbows in toward your ribs. Have your palms face up. Reach your heart forward. Take your hands away from each other. Now, as if you are using the TheraBand, grab and make a fist. pull your fists away from each other and just notice what engagement you get in the shoulder area. Release your hands down to the mat and come to your forearms now. On your forearms, interlace your fingers. Press your wrist creases down. Draw your elbows in toward each other, in toward the midline. Engage the core muscles by drawing, again, pubic bone to the navel, navel back to the spine. Keep the elbows hugging in. I've got my elbows just slightly narrower than the shoulders here. Lift yourself up to come to a dolphin pose. Now walk your feet back, so now your shoulders are not right over the elbows. You're just getting this nice engagement of the shoulders. Now walk your feet toward your elbows so your shoulders come just a little bit more aligned over the elbows. Let your head just hang here. And walk your feet back. Come to a plank position as you take your gaze forward, lower your knees down, draw the tops of the thighs down. Place your hands right alongside your ribs and inhale. Just open your chest nicely. Exhale and soften. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften. 1 more. With the strength of the back body, rise up. Exhale and soften. Come to all fours position again. For many of us that have any wrist issues, working with Dolphin is just a wonderful way to get that inversion and to practice for forearm balance or to strengthen your arms for Shirshasana 1 or headstand. To get that strength, the forearm plank is really beneficial. So let's work that as you come to that Sphinx pose again with your forearms down. Elbows draw back toward your feet, heart draws forward. To make this much more accessible in the plank position, interlace your fingers. Draw your elbows slightly closer to each other. Hug the elbows in. Tuck your toes under. Lift your pelvis up. Lift your knees up. As you come to this forearm plank position, draw your shoulders forward by walking in, walking forward, and come back. Draw forward, come back, so the shoulders draw back and forward, and back, and forward, and back. Take your knees down. Now let's combine all of these actions that we've practiced into more of a flow, because as you probably figured out, it's not that much fun to do one shoulder strengthener after the other. By weaving these actions that engage your shoulders into your practice, you'll find that the shoulder strength shifts just by incorporating a few actions into your regular practice. We'll start at the top of the mat. At the top of the mat, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, take your hands down alongside your ankles to step your right foot back. Take your right knee down to the mat. Take your hands right above your knees. Draw your elbows in toward your ribs with your palms facing up, thumbs down, baby fingers slightly up. Let the heart reach forward as the hands reach back. Release your hands to the mat. Step your back foot forward. Place your hands to the low back. Rise up. Reach up again. Reach way back. Exhale. Take your hands alongside your ankles. Step your left leg back. Bring your left knee down. Hands to the top of the thigh. Settle into your pose. Take your elbows alongside your ribs. With your fingers spread, reach the fingers to the side. Allow the pelvis to drop toward the earth as you open the chest nicely. Release your hands down to the mat. Step your back foot forward. Place your hands to the low back. Rise up. Reach your hands up. Take the hands wide apart. Enjoy this fullness of the upper chest. Exhale. Take your hands down. Step back to all fours position. In all fours position, come to your forearms. Interlace your fingers with your elbows hugging in, elbows slightly narrower than the shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees off the mat. Release your head. Walk your feet back so that you get a nice stretch to the shoulders. Now to strengthen the shoulders, walk in. Now the shoulders are over the elbows. Take your right leg up in the air. Release your right foot down. Come to a forearm plank position. Look forward. Reach your shoulders forward. Come back. Lift your pelvis up. Walk your feet in. Lift your left leg high. Release your left foot down. Walk your feet back. Draw forward. Reach back. Release your knees down. Place your hands to the mat and step your right foot forward. Drop in. Take your elbows to your ribs with your palms facing up. Draw your gaze up, your hands to your sides. Release your hands. Draw your right foot back. Step your left foot forward. Drop in. Take your elbows alongside your ribs. Spread your fingers. Open the chest nicely. Exhale. Release your hands. Now come to lie on your back. Just allow your legs to release, your arms to release. Close your eyes. In this short practice, we were able to engage the shoulders nicely. This external rotation strength of the teres minor, the infraspinatus, really contributes to strengthening our practice as we move toward more arm balancing. Let this be a time where we just kind of take in the actions that we did. And in that process of assimilation, create a bit more space, a bit more fullness. Allow your outer body to soften. Keep a brightness to your breath. Allow this feeling of complete support. Through that support, allow your legs and your arms to release completely. Enjoy Savasana. Namaste.